Hi everyone, this is BDevine. I hope that this finds you awesome wherever you are. So today it was interesting. I have a couple of things that I'm going to show you, actually something that I'm going to show you that's a really quick thing for you to start getting your own messages. Okay, but I want to share with you something as well. At the beginning of this year, okay, 2025, I asked specifically for something new for this world. I, as a teacher and a guide and someone who's been with you online almost daily for all of those years, was struggling in a world where the false energy seems to always surpass anyone who's trying to do something good. And it's the way that history is as well. It's just the way of it, right? And I knew that to continue doing something in the same way and expecting a different result was insane, right? But I also didn't know that there was so many aspects of myself that needed to shift and change and heal also, because I had thought I had done all of this work and shared this work and taught this work and given this work to the world. So I thought that I was done with the adjustments that I needed to make within myself. But one thing that I've always been careful with online or whatever is being too much of myself. So I've always been myself. I'll clarify this. I've always been myself, who I am, right? Sharing parts of my life with all of you, and all of you seeing those different parts of my life if you've been watching for any amount of time. However, there are other aspects of me. One, my art. Some of you have seen my mandalas, and those actually take you to different spaces and places, right? Two, singing. You know, I do a lot of singing and actually karaoke and fun that we have, but I don't really show that here on my YouTube. Playing the bass guitar, I made videos years ago of when I was teaching myself, right, learning, okay? Although I've come a long way since then, I haven't shared much for a while. Being funny is who I am. When you know me in person, all we're going to do is laugh, right? And you've seen some of that when I go live or whatever. And over the years, silly things, right? Crystals, healing with crystals, shamanic healing. I haven't shown you shamanic healing here live or anything like that, but I probably will. I've been through weight loss journeys. I've been through transformational journeys. I've gone through a milestone recently of turning 50, right? And the energy that brought. My stepdad died, the one that was so abusive for all of my childhood. I found out on the day of my 50th birthday that he's dead, which broke the chains, like it broke something. And it was a little bit difficult, not emotional or anything like sadness, like I'm glad that that's over, right? He's free, whatever. But it was a little bit difficult because there were all these things that were surrounding this person and had shaped me to be who I am and inspired me to share, to teach, to give, right? To be, to heal, to teach healing, to show you all how to heal, right? Just everything that I had started in my life and begun with Devine Miracles and, you know, moving into BDevine online, all that stuff, was because of the abuses and all of the things. And then it was just shut, right? Dealt with many things around our property, stuff with animals and terrible stressful situations and things, right? Just things that are everyday life that I don't feel like I need to tell everybody every single part of my life, right? But there's many aspects to who I am, just like there's many aspects to who you are, right, as well. The beginning of the year, as I was saying, I decided that the world needed something else. I knew I did, because we all learn the same processes. When you're opening up to spirituality, you might do it in a more Zen Buddhist way, you might do it in a transcendental meditation way, you might go into Reiki or hypnosis therapies or tarot or oracles or crystals or whatever you're going into. There's something in there where you're like, this will give me the answers, this will show me where to go, and this will allow me to help other people. Most people get into spirituality, in other words, to open up their horizons, but also to help other people. Okay? Now, this is where the difficult part comes in. So I hope you're still here. The system, okay, that has kept people in limbo and going around in circles and looping around in their problems, and the system that has created false light as well and kept people under control, which has been happening for a really, really long time, does not like it when someone dares to step outside of their role, right? When they dare to step out of their role and do something that they haven't done before, or share something that they wouldn't normally share, or be in a way that is a little different than what people are used to, accustomed to, or want to see. And I knew that when I started the Voice of the Flame to share this essence of who we are, before everything was fractured, before the control was there, before we all learned in the same way, before all of this, when we all had instant knowledge, wealth of information, our DNA was pristine and all beautifully running, our healing abilities were thought-based, our essence was pure, and we constantly created in a sense of using our mind to shift things into reality, and it happened instantly, where angels walked amongst us. There was no veil. Our guides, gods and goddesses and beings walked around us like normal. This was normal, and it hasn't gone from your memory. That's why you're fascinated with things that may be on the other side of the veil, and what happens when we pass and our loved ones are over there. The veil was created around humanity to stop us from remembering who we really are, and from seeing that the veil only exists because it's been designed that way through thought. And enough people thinking the same way creates a reality. Okay, so in reality, we've been born into this dome, into this veil that has kept us looping in cycles that never used to be there. But because we've begun to expect these cycles, we started seeing them. So people started to expect me, for example, to constantly be the same way, which at the core of everything that I do is a deep need and a want for people to transform. That's all I've ever wanted, to bring the messages to help you transform. However, going about things in the same way and following those same protocols allowed only the same people to see the same things. It didn't allow people who would never have seen me before or never have heard any positive energy or any positive talk or therapies or healing or any of this. They wouldn't even look at it because they see psychic abilities or readers or whatever as weirdos, as Looney Tunes. And the reason they see it that way is because of the ones that do it that way, right? Who make it weird, who make it bizarre, who make it strange, who don't have spiritual etiquette. They don't know that you shouldn't be giving people answers about pregnancy and whether someone's cheating or whether there's going to be this or that happen to an exactness. They don't help give you healing. They don't help to share therapies because they don't know any different, right? So when the majority of the world sees someone as a card reader, for example, they automatically, no matter how awesome you are, tend to put you into a category of woo-woo, weird, or you do cards. It's just a stigma that's around. Now we know that there are millions of people that are lovingly doing messages for you and are really, really trying with all of their heart to get you to see that they are different. And I was one of them, desperately trying to get the world to see that I was different, that I really, truly want to help you, okay? But if I kept on doing what I've always done, if I kept on feeling an inner frustration that I always had, and the frustration was that people couldn't see past that stigma and see the truth. They were so brainwashed. And that used to frustrate me because I knew where that came from. I knew that came from programming. I knew that came from people just always following a certain path, or always listening to what others say, or always following the group, or always whatever, right? That it was just always there. So I said to myself, there are so many different aspects to you. You're channeling information here, streaming it all the time. And I have methods, okay? Methods and writings that'll probably last in the flame frequency for the next 20 years or more, right? It's constantly coming. Constant methods, constant ways of sharing. And it didn't include daily holding a card up, because I already had the message within me that I was there giving you. But I was pleasing people by, or connecting with people through the cards. However, right, there is more to this person than just that, or teaching, or sharing, or giving. I am musical. I am funny. I have a way of being very, very intuitive about lots of different things. I can see through the darkness. I know that there has been a hold, a control on humanity for a long time. I see through the veil. I'm piercing. I'm crashing it down as I speak. And for me to do something completely different, and this is why I want to explain this to you, for me to pull myself into a completely different direction directly challenges the veil, the dome that's been around humanity for so many thousands of years. It directly challenges it, because I'm no longer doing, see that word? I'm no longer doing what is expected of me. And every now and then I'll create something funny or off the wall or different. You know why? Because it literally tricked the darkness to push my view count right through the roof. It literally tricked the algorithms to release my work that wouldn't ordinarily reach people because people are expecting the same thing from me. It wouldn't reach people because they wouldn't be tuning in to tarot readings or healing or whatever. But it reached them anyway. And it enabled me a new way of sharing and giving. And it also enabled a part of me that I don't often show to be allowed to come out and have fun. And we need to relax. You know, we need to have fun. So you see, although people think, oh, you know, and this is only a few people, but nonetheless, people may think, this is strange, this is different, this is weird. Becky's not doing what I would like her to do because I'm what I'm used to seeing her do. It's not for you. It's directly to, one, trick the system into finally allowing my video suppression to lift. Now, people think, well, you know, you've got 60-some thousand on YouTube, 100,000 on Facebook. I make $100 a month. I am not monetized on Facebook because they think that I'm connected to an entity. What entity, I don't know what. And anytime I ask, I am completely shut off. YouTube, I only monetize my shorts. Every now and then, some of my longer videos will be monetized. But even with that, they keep the views so that I only make my threshold. And sometimes I don't make that, and sometimes I do. $100. So, if that's not someone who's being suppressed, I don't know who is. Views, hardly any views on my videos. Other people, millions of views, thousands of views, whatever. I knew that there was a way that I could get around that. And by me speaking out about who I am and that this new energy is coming through and it is ancient and it is easy and we have it all within us and all of that, they're all really the same messages that I've been giving you since the beginning. However, we're no longer looking outside of ourselves for someone else to give us the answers, because that's what we've been trained to do. We're trained to do that in school. The teacher has all the answers. We're trained to do that at work. The boss has all the rules. Can't cross the line. Gonna get in trouble. Can't do this. People won't like it. People won't like you. People don't like it when you tell them that you do cards anyway. People will get the wrong idea. When you work with holistic medicine, oh, so, yeah, you're not going to go to a regular doctor? No. I'm 50. I'm supposed to have mammograms and all that. There is no way in hell. There's no way in hell I'm going to go to a doctor at all. My choice. People go, oh my God, because they're in fear. I'm not. And that's okay. I'm trying to show you how to live in freedom. And if I'm trying to show you how to live in freedom, how can I do that when I only give you part of myself? Now, I agree, the world doesn't need to know every step of my day. It's not the Osbournes, right? I'm not here filming every part of my life. There are some things that I do want to keep private. My private life is my private life, although there's really nothing really to hide. But it is still, I'm not going to document or do a video diaries of my life, right? But if I'm interested in metal music, my husband's a drummer, my son is a drummer. Actually, my two sons are drummers and the other one's a guitarist. I play the bass, I sing, carry on, whatever I want to do. If I want to share that, I will. If I want to do crystal ball work, I will. If I want to do automatic writing, I will. I'll teach you. If I want to channel or stream, I will. If I feel like there's a good method, I'm going to give it to you. I don't live in drama. I don't listen to negativity. If someone comes to my house and they start a negative bandwagon of complaints and BS, I call it out for what it is. Years ago, I wouldn't have. I would have been like, oh God, here they come, and not say anything. I didn't want to upset the apple cart. I didn't want to, you know. But now, I just make a joke about it or I shut it down, and so does my husband. And we've all learnt this. We don't want it. We don't want complaints. We don't want drama. We don't want people's first 10 minutes of their sentence is blah, 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 blah. Let me just spew all over you. You know? I had a lady that recently I had to block her because every year she sends me a message, a voice message, and every year it's kind of the same message, and then even weirder, send me a message from my dead brother that I don't want to hear because I can talk to my brother on my own. Okay? Now she's probably watching my YouTube, but that's not cool. And because I didn't answer right away, hey, guess what? There could have been something going on in my life, but she didn't think that. It was all about herself. And so she spewed at me and got blocked. Ordinarily, I would explain myself and say, well, you know what? This is actually what's been happening in my life, but I didn't. I just cut it off for what it is. And I don't even care that this person might go around saying whatever they want to say, because I know exactly what happened. Now, this is the same thing. I don't want, as I said, drama, misunderstandings, or stress in my life. I'm sure you don't want it in your life either. In fact, this whole vibration of Pluto in Aquarius is going to be around for 20 years, right? Which means that anything that is not rooted in truth is going to be tossed up into the air, and it's going to be there for all to see. And if you're not clear on your boundaries or what it is that you're doing, or you're still living in fear of what somebody else thinks or says or does, or you're worried that someone's going to take something the wrong way, then you're living, in a sense, under control. And if you get tired of it, there is a way out. If you get tired of asking for healing and nothing's happening, I can tell you there's a reason behind that as well. If you want to be accepted for all the different parts and pieces of who you are, I can tell you right now, I accept people for all the different parts and pieces of who they are. Unless there comes a point when there is passive aggressiveness or a demand on my time or on myself, where I'm not gonna wear that or wash. That's not gonna wash with me. Where someone is like, you didn't answer me when I wanted you to, so you're a piece of shit. I'm not gonna wear that anymore. And in the past, I'd go, oh my God, hey, calm down. Just don't worry. What's going on? I had all this stuff happening with me. No, it doesn't wear anymore. It doesn't work. The manipulation doesn't work anymore. You're finding this yourself, aren't you? Hasn't something shifted in you over the last year? Hasn't something already started to feel like, hang on a minute, I need to go in a different direction. I need to stop being walked all over. I need to stop explaining myself all the time. If people are all about themselves, there's never a thought about me. Why should I keep on trying to chase these people? See? Other people, other situations. I bet you've had people in your life that as soon as they talk, it's all about them. Every little thing, oh, this and this happened, and then me. And then right at the very end, they'll say, and how are you? that's not real. They don't want to know how you are. They've just shown you that for the last 20-minute message that they gave you or whatever. They're only interested in your sympathy or your care, not what's going on in your life. And you know what? Many people are finding this. And as I said to you all, there are things that I am going to keep private in my life because that's my right to do so. But there's a lot of things besides me, the animals, the funny times we have with them, the work around our property, the music, the karaoke. I'm hoping to be able to get some of our karaoke fun from my birthday up if my son has kept all the videos, which I hope he has. That, me playing the bass perhaps a little bit more, crystal stuff and this, that and the other. And giving you the methods to break through. The methods to literally begin to see changes in your life. The way in which we can much easier unlock our own powers, our own abilities in order to heal. Because when you heal, everybody else benefits as well. When you're around people that constantly complain and you leave there feeling drained and pissed off, do you think that's good for you? If I'm feeling frustrated because the control mechanisms in place are suppressing things, am I going to keep doing the same things that are suppressing me? Or am I going to break free and take a risk? Of course I am. Of course I am. I'm going to open a channel that's going to break the veil. It's going to crash it down. Which means as this happens and as this grows and as I grow and as I shift and as I change, and you all do as well, right? If you take this on and you really give it a chance, okay, we all have a part to play in pulling down the control mechanisms that none of us like. All of us are slaves to money. All of us are slaves to work. All of us are slaves to how other people see us. And it never used to be that way. Everybody was free. And there's more to talk about with all of that, of course, as well. But the thing of it is that I have to share more parts of myself, because that's the thing that the darkness is not expecting. And when I did this, and when this finally started happening for me, when I finally started breaking out of the matrix, okay, breaking out of the control, which I didn't realize was there, it gave me so much more drive than I've had in a very, very long time. It enabled things to be taken care of quite quickly and situations to change unbelievably and things to happen that you cannot explain. For example, I'm going to tell you what happened to my husband and I yesterday. Okay, hang on, let me take this thing off. What happened to my husband and I yesterday is the most bizarre thing, and it didn't happen once, it happened twice. We went into this shop. The lady behind the counter, right, we had 3 items. The lady behind the counter turned to her co-worker and said, "Oh, can you just take over this sale right now?" For whatever reason, she had to go in the back of the room. The lady that took over is experienced. She's always in this shop. And she took over and she said, "Is this all together?" And we said yes. And when she had taken over the sale, you know how they do a suspend sale and then, you click it and you continue the sale, right? So the lady that was serving us put all of our items in a bag. Next thing you know, the cash drawer opened on her. And she put her hands up in the air like, oh my God. On the screen, that we could see the screen on our side, on the screen it said that we had given her $100 and she owed us $45 change. And it wasn't even our transaction. Our transaction came up to more than that, but still, it wasn't anything to do with us. And she was just like, what the hell's happened? Okay. The other co-workers like, I don't know, whatever. And we had to put it all through, right? So it was a void transaction or whatever, and we had to put all our stuff through. So that was weird. Then, right after that, so the 45, 4 and 5 equals 9, right? Completion, boom, right? Then we went to the next shop, which was unfortunately Walmart, which we don't really like to go in, but sometimes we have to get some stuff in there. We get to the checkout. We do the self-checkout, okay? So I'm scanning the water and all the bits and pieces, and the amount due was $67, okay? I go to put my card in to pay for it at the self-checkout. I go to put my card in, and it came up on the screen to pay by phone, which I'm not doing. But it already had last 4 digits of someone's phone number in there. And I'm like, oh no. So I cancelled that. By this point, the fella came over and he goes, what's going on? You know, kind of thing, to help, right? And again, we went back to the screen to pay. Okay. Up came the add your phone number, right? We skipped past that. And then on the screen, literally on the screen, it said $14 had been paid for. And we're like, no, nothing's been paid for. I haven't even put the card in, right? So he went back again to the screen where you're going to go pay. We go back to the screen, right? And it came up with pay by phone. And we said no. And it wouldn't go to the insert your card or anything like that. So he did the same thing. So he said, suspend. He goes, do you want to go to the other checkout next door? He said, you know, I'll just push this total over there and you can pay over there. No. On the screen, it said, this is already paid in full. And he's looking at us and we're looking at him and we're like, well, we haven't, first it's $14. We haven't paid anything. Anyway, it was just like, what the hell? So instead of suspending the transaction, he had to cancel it completely. We went to the next cashier, right? And just put all our stuff through again. And then we were able to pay. Okay. But it didn't want us to pay. When we were leaving, he has the front of the register up. He's looking behind it, trying to figure out what the hell. It just completely would not do it. Things like this, anomalies, where something happened and not once but twice, and it was like, we're supposed to give you change here. And in this one, you're already done. You're gonna, you know what I mean? So never had anything like that happen once in my life, let alone twice. Things happen and change because you are changing. You are open. You are more direct. You might be funny. You might crack a joke that you wouldn't normally crack. And hey, I did it with one of my stupid videos that I didn't expect anybody to see, had 60,000 views overnight. Now, that's what I'm normally supposed to get, I would think. But here, this thing went nuts. Why? Because it was bringing awareness to fake tarot readers. Not saying that tarot reading in itself is fake, but there are plenty of fake tarot readers. And I did a stupid forceful shuffle thing and then ended up throwing the cards up in the air, right? It was satire. It was exaggerated, but it got through. Why? Because it appeared that I was making fun of the very thing that I used to do. That's not what it was. And it was I thought it was pretty clear to me that that's not what it was. But anyway, the algorithms pushed it through. And the people that would never have seen me, and they still did not know who I was, didn't even know I existed, and people that used to watch me years and years and years ago found me again. The amount of change that happened was amazing. It showed me that when you do or dare to be yourself or dare to do something different, okay, not everyone's going to like it, and that's fine because they're used to you in a certain way, but it breaks through. It changes things. It shifts your trajectory, and the timeline that you're looking for starts to reveal itself more clearly to you. So I wanted to sort of just be really honest about what I'm doing and how I've been doing things for so long, and how something really literally had to change anyway. But what this means for the spiritual community is that you start to have such strong senses and such strong abilities that you're able to see through nonsense immediately. That you're not going to fall for manipulation. That your boundaries are completely strong. Your shield walls are up. Your light is showing. The energy is shifting and changing. Cisco and Bobby out there. Your energy is shifting and changing. You're unrecognizable. You know, if things weren't working for me, don't you think that I would start, I don't know, just looking like an old bag or something? You know, I don't know. But things are changing rapidly. We are destroying the control systems energetically. We are pulling it apart. We don't want it anymore. And with this comes a realization that you can no longer have one foot in a future that you're looking for and one foot in the past and think that you're going to be able to walk straight. You can't. It's not going to happen. And you're going to feel unbalanced, and you're going to be feeling pulled in multiple directions, right? So I'm going to give you, again, I'm going to give you something that is a very, very quick exercise that will enable you to receive some information for yourself. And I'm going to give you an example of how this can work, but it's going to take you seconds to do this. The first thing that we're going to do is a breath sequence. Why? Because it allows you to receive and calm your inner self. Then we're going to make sure our flame shield is on, that our mirror is clear and there's no distractions. And then we're going to ask the question, and I'll give you an example of that. And you're going to speak it out loud with this video, or you're going to write it down. The first impression is spirit. Any edits that you make is ego. So if you sit there saying, I don't know if it's the right message, stop. The first impression is spirit. Any edits that you make is ego. Okay? Very simple. What is yours comes clearly. Your sight is precise. I'm going to read this to you. I am the living flame of truth. What is mine comes clearly. What is not slides away. My sight is precise. My hearing is clear. My feeling is wise. My knowing is trusted. All gifts serve good with permission. In perfect timing, so it is. Okay, try this exercise. Inhale for a count of 4. We're going to hold for 4 and exhale to 8. We're going to do that 3 times. Go. Inhale, hold, exhale 8. Right. Inhale 4, hold, exhale 8. Inhale 4. Hold. Exhale 8. Flame shield on. Repeat after me. Mirror clear. Noise out. What's the most helpful one sentence for me at this moment? Write it down or say it. Okay. First impression is spirit. Your edits are ego. So, first impression, rest assured, all is clear. You are good to go. Practice working with that. You have it all inside of you. It will reveal itself if you actually pull down all of the nonsense and the walls that you have put up. Over time, I'm going to teach you methods. There will be webinars, but every month there will be transmissions. If you are in the group here for Flame transmissions on YouTube, you will be notified when we will have a live unlisted session, and you'll have me right there to ask questions with. You can also do it on Patreon. There will be separate courses available. As I said, I've got about 20 years worth of course of stuff available for us that is mind-blowing, the stuff that you can do. Okay? There are your own transmissions that you can have where you give me 3 themes about your life or 3 questions or whatever, and then I record every impression, everything that's coming in, all the advice for you, ways in which you can do it, a journal, PDFs, all the things that you need, right? Or you can actually work with me for 8 weeks with my flame immersion programs where we get to the depth of everything. Again, I'm not going to be working with people personally forever. I'm going to be creating things that you're able to go on with on your own. Because one thing I also decided was that I didn't want to sit at my desk forever. And you probably don't want to sit at your desk forever either, right? There are bigger things also that I would like to do, like places that are reconstructive, healing centers, things for animals, etc. That can't all be done behind a desk every day. So while I'm here and while you have this opportunity, use those things. You will love it. It's very, very mind-blowing, okay? Much more information comes through the stream, the channel, the field. It's already in your field. And this includes things from your past lives, your future self, everything. And some along, and the Flame Immersion series is working with me personally, but also receiving recordings that are dedicated to different areas of your life, and PDFs and sigils and things that seal the information, anchor the information, seal it, protect you. Okay? Understand that you have so much more abilities than what you've ever known because you've been under the dome, the veil, whatever, your whole life. Break free. Dare to break free. You don't have to be liked by everybody. You just need to be real. Be yourself. It will reveal itself. And so will this work as well. So, don't know what I'm going to call this video, but I hope that you watched it till the end. Sending you many blessings. I'm always here, always available. I hope that you will purchase yourself a transmission and away you go. Sending blessings. Bye for now.